rally the troops. Now, joining us, Republican Congressman Phil Gingrey, who is the chair of the Republicans Doctors Caucus. In all fairness, we want to mention we had planned to have Democratic Congressman Rob Andrews in this segment as well. He's been called away on business. Well, they're busy up there, and he will try to join us a little bit later if we can arrange that, so we'll keep working on that. In the meantime, Congressman Gingrey, does health care reform, as outlined in this legislation that's about to become before the House of Representatives, does it make health care more affordable?
Brian, that's the whole point. When you cut right to the chase, it doesn't. And the CBO has told us innumerable times that it does not bend the cost curve in the right direction. And so, I mean, for us to try to reform 1/6 of our economy and spend at a minimum, and I emphasize minimum, of $1 trillion in the process and come up with an EDSL, that doesn't make a lot of sense to the American people, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me as a physician who has practiced for 31 years, and not to say nothing of the destruction of the doctor-patient relationship and health care and our economy. I visited with a Caterpillar company just recently this week, and they told me that this would cost them $100 million in the first year. Take away any benefit they got from the so-called economic stimulus package. Wipe it out in one fell swoop.
Let me ask you then, based on what you see happening right now, I mean, Republicans know how to count votes just like Democrats do. Do the Democrats have the votes to pass this measure in the House? Do they have the 216 votes they need?
Well, I was listening to some previous clips on Fox News, and I understand now that they're saying 217 yeses, and of course the Democrats want to have 217 because in addition to this deem and scheme, deem and pass trick where they're trying to avoid their members having a fingerprint on the passage of this Senate bill. So when they go back home, they say, well, no, I just voted for the rule. I didn't vote for the bill. And if they have 217 for passage, a member could always go back and say, well, you know, even if I had voted no like you wanted me to, Mr. and Mrs. America, it would have still passed by one vote. So don't blame me.
All right, so I want to point out that those numbers are only guesses at this point, our best guesstimate, so we don't really know where things are. Is there a chance that you can hold Democrats' feet to the fire, that Republicans go and say, you must do a recorded vote? We want everybody to be on record here. Can you force that?
Brian, we can't force it. Maybe the American people can force it. All of these millions that are on the plaza at the Capitol right now that Molly was interviewing some of them in the previous clip. We don't have the votes in the House or the Senate, but obviously we are working on our senators, Republican senators, and John Boehner and Mitch McConnell. We're all working on some of these Democrats that we think need to know and need to understand that even the president promises all these deals, and if they lose their election, they're going to become ambassador to this country or that country or whatever, that these things that require Senate approval indeed can be held up. So there's no guarantee when they vote for this Senate bill that it will be changed.
Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And again, we'll try to get the Democratic side in a little bit later as soon as we can get them to our microphones and our cameras in just a bit.
Thank you, Brian.
By the way, in the upper right-hand corner, you see Mike Pence, key member of the House, a Republican who's involved, speaking to the Tea Party rally. Let's listen in for just a moment of that.
The American people don't want a government takeover of health care now or ever. The American people want us to face our challenges in health care with more freedom, not more government. This weekend, I believe, will mark the beginning of the end of liberal ascendancy here in Washington, D.C. This weekend, the American people will begin the long journey back to the center of our national government.
Well, there you have a sense of what Mike Pence, a Republican from Indiana, is saying about this health care measure. Rather predictable given his position within the House leadership. but we wanted to give you a sense of what's going on as it's happening. Now, we want to know, of course, it's very important to know what you think about this massive health care reform bill. You can log on to foxnews.com to share your thoughts. Just click on the You Decide poll. Right now, 32% of you say you think the health care bill will pass. 49% of you say no way it's going to pass. There's also a comment section where you can tell us why you think the way you do. It's all on foxnews.com. A couple other stories.